watching the Bulldog Brewhouse podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Steve Grover. We're back for another episode of the Bulldog Brewhouse podcast. It is May 27th, and finally we're getting some good weather. This past weekend was just gorgeous. Sunny, blue skies, and obviously if you're riding or driving around Alberta, you know, we've got the clear roads finally, no salt, sand, or icy roads around, and so obviously we're looking forward to the summer, and hopefully it'll be an enjoyable summer for everybody, and obviously the Calgary Stampede's coming up pretty soon, but I got a special guest tonight. Her name is Brooke Nistor. Yeah. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Brooke, how are you doing?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Good. How was your weekend?
Really exciting. We actually did an on-site with you on Saturday. It was a really well set up event. We had a massive new tent, I hear. New tent for the group, and the ladies had a ton of fun. Yeah, so that event was at Calgary Harley. It was their season opening party. Yeah. And obviously, we've used your company a couple times. But tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know who you are. Tell my viewers who Brooke is exactly, yes.
Okay?
My name is Brooke Nistor. I am 28 years old. I'm originally from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but I've been in Calgary now for about 5 years. I started my agency in 2017. In Saskatchewan, really small scale, so I was just working my own events. And in 2022, we kind of went Canada-wide, so started servicing clients all over Canada. I have a few contracts in the States now as of last year.
Okay, so you're originally from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and I've been there once. I went there for a friend's wedding. I flew in and flew out. I mean, it's a nice city. We stayed downtown at some hotel, and I remember the river. What's the river? The North Saskatchewan?
Yes, River Landing. They actually redid that really recently. It's beautiful down there, but small city and very flat.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's a nice Canadian city, and obviously Saskatchewan is a good province. Actually, my mom's side is my grandmother. She had I think she had 9 sisters and 1 brother, all from southern Saskatchewan, farming family, and they ended up all coming to Calgary.
Yeah.
And so it was very interesting. So I have roots in Saskatchewan, the southern side, southern belt area near the U.S. border. Yeah. So Saskatoon's a nice city.
Yeah, the people are great too. Everyone's really friendly. Everyone I meet from Saskatoon or Saskatchewan in general are just been nice people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
And then you grew up in Saskatoon.
Yeah, I grew up in Saskatoon. I my whole life I essentially did dance, cheerleading, gymnastics. So I've actually coached a few professional teams, the NLL, so pro lacrosse that we do.
The Calgary Roughnecks.
Yeah, the Saskatchewan's called the Saskatchewan Rush. So I did the Rush, and then the CBL, which is our pro basketball league. Okay. So I did that while I was in university. I went to University of Saskatchewan.
Oh, you went to U of S.
Yes, U of S. Yeah.
How did you like that?
Good. It was nice. I got to live at home, so that was good while I was doing my undergrad.
Yeah. Okay, University of Saskatchewan's with the Huskies. They usually have a good college football team.
Yes, they do. Yeah, I remember the games being pretty rowdy.
Okay. And so you used to work with the Saskatoon Rush?
Yeah, Saskatchewan Rush. We would dance with them.
Yeah.
I did that while I was in school. A ton of volunteer work too with community events and stuff.
Okay.
So that was good.
So I got a couple friends that are fans of the Calgary Roughnecks.
Yes.
And they have season tickets, and I've gone to games here and there. But I know the history of Saskatchewan team was actually from Edmonton. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes, I did. Edmonton Rush, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they moved to Saskatoon.
Yes.
And how's the team been going so far?
It's still going. Everything's good. Yeah, I was one of the, when they did the switch from Edmonton Rush to the Saskatchewan, I was actually one of the original cheerleaders that was booked for that. So it was awesome. Cool. Yeah.
And I've been there. The arena's outside of town a little bit,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, SaskTel Center, yes.
Okay. And hold about 10,000 people?
It's a smaller stadium, but
but it's still, I mean, it's good province, good people.
Yes.
And then Saskatoon's, I think it's the capital, or is it Regina?
Regina, yes.
Okay, all right. So obviously growing up there, and you're involved in dance, and you know the teams out there.
Yes.
Are you a Rough Riders fan?
I am, yes, absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm a Stamps fan, so I'm not a big fan of the Rough Riders.
Fair.
I remember growing up, they were a pretty terrible team, and they recently just turned it around.
Yes.
Okay. And then what brought you to Calgary?
More job opportunity. I wanted to kind of expand my business Canada-wide, and Saskatchewan's great, but it's too small of a hub. It's a little bit too small. And then I was realizing that a lot of my my larger clients I had for a long term, their offices were more stationed in Alberta,
Oh, okay.
Calgary.
Okay.
I'm also in the liquor industry as
Yeah.
well, so that was a huge factor. Liquor in Alberta is very easy. They're great to work with the AGLC and everything. So
Okay.
it's better for us to have started that business
Yeah.
here in Alberta than in Saskatchewan.
So yeah, I know province to province changes. Like I'm a lawyer in Nova Scotia, and I think the government regulates alcohol there. Is that the same as Saskatchewan?
Yes, yeah. So government regulates it as well.
So who's in charge of alcohol and liquor, and what is it part of a government agency?
Yeah. So in Alberta here, we're kind of unique. We have our own agency license, so we own the agency and we own the liquor label. Usually it's one or the other, and then you lose about 15% because to sell your liquor in Alberta, you have to have your agency license or you hire an agency to represent your product. So we own both.
Okay, so is it? Because I remember growing up in Calgary, it used to be the AGLC, the Alberta Government Liquor Commission or something. Is that the same as Saskatchewan?
It's the same. It's called SLGA in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Okay, and then how long you been in Alberta for?
5 years now.
Okay, so just out of my perspective, I was born in Calgary. I was raised here. I went to high school in BC, and then went to college and law school in the U.S. But from your perspective, coming from Saskatchewan to Alberta, what's the biggest change for you? Or generally people moving from Saskatchewan to Alberta, what's the biggest change they
I would
face?
say wanting like a larger city center, way better restaurants and dining in Calgary, more of a nightlife. Like I said, we've always been kind of involved with industry, the liquor, music festivals.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely more things to do. There's more concerts.
And so those are the pros, but what's the cons? What's the bad things?
Family, probably. Leaving family and friends. I've only ever lived in Saskatoon, so I'm born and raised there. Did my university there, so kind of leaving friends. But I go and see them, or they come. Well, they usually come and see me, so yeah.
Okay. And do you drive home when you go back home?
I fly. I used to drive, but that single lane, oh my goodness.
It's 7 hours there and 7 hours back?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think, like, I know Calgary, when I was born here, there's about 250,000. Now we're about 1.4.
Correct, yeah.
And I think now Calgary is probably the third biggest metropolitan city in Canada. It's past Vancouver, other than Toronto and Montreal. Have you found how have you found the people in Calgary? Are they friendly or kind of business oriented?
I think friendly, definitely more white collared here. If you go to like in Edmonton, I feel like, okay, blue collar, it's noticeable. But yeah, I would say younger population as well.
Yeah.
Younger population, more people kind of in that early 30s range here, I would say.
Okay.
Than like Saskatoon.
Do you find people friendly here?
Yeah, I would say yes,
Okay. Yeah, I've seen a little difference where, sometimes it's everyone's about business and making money. And the one thing about Calgary is people are like, they want to keep up with the Joneses. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, people are competitive here. For us, we kept quiet when we started our liquor label. No one knew. No one knew for I would say a good year. They thought we were just hired to promote the brand, and then people realized oh my goodness, you guys are actually doing this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, it was just out of coincidence that I met you and got your company name. Because the auto and truck show was just here in March.
Yes.
And we had used, another staffing agency for events. And then I came up across the Ferrari auto dealership kind of, show. And then I met some of your ladies there. That's how we met. So how did Premier Staffing start?
Okay.
The history of it.
Yes. So when I was, I guess, very young, so I'd say 15, 16 years old, I came to the Calgary Stampede with I think it was with my cheerleading team or dance team or something, but they took us on a trip there.
Yeah.
And I saw the Monster Energy girls, the OG. They're kind of like the gold standard of brand ambassadors worldwide, I would say. I saw that and I was like, wow, how do I do that? The girls are beautiful, they're friendly, they're gorgeous. I was like, how do I do that? That's kind of where the idea started from a young age. I wanted to do that. I didn't really know how to get in or get booked for events and bookings like that. Fast forward to me graduating high school, wanting to go to university. I was like, okay, I need to pay for university. How am I going to do it? Didn't really want to do serving. Didn't really like that. Worked in I would say fine jewelry for a while, selling jewelry and watches and stuff. And I was just like, I was like, wait, we do not have an agency or anybody doing this in Saskatoon. Why is that not happening? We have like car dealerships, we have events. So that's kind of what kind of gave me the idea. I was like, I'm going to target a niche market.
Yeah.
And it started out really small. It was just me going into like Fun Motors as my first client. They own like Volkswagen and a few other, Acura, I believe, and a few other dealerships. Saskatchewan. I just went in there and said, hey, you guys do all these client appreciation events. Like, would you not like ladies at your front door, like handing out pamphlets or gift bags or something. So that's kind of how it got started, and I would just work myself. So they'd hire me, and I would just work the events, pay for my university at the time, and then I realized, I was like, oh my goodness, there's more people start reaching out to different clients, and then just having like my friends. So my friends would just work the events for me, and I would go. So yeah, it was essentially a way for me to like pay for my university, and then I realized like, wow, I can really scale this business and kind of take clients Canada wide.
Okay.
So it was kind of small town, small mind. Thought I could only do this in Saskatoon, so I was only working with local clients for many years, and then realized I could do it. All over Canada.
So you came to Calgary. Obviously, there's a lot of advantages in Calgary.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, we have the lowest corporate tax rate in North America. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
The weather's kind of wishy-washy.
Better than Saskatchewan, though, the snow.
Okay. But May and June, we just had a bike night that got washed out last Wednesday.
The girls were so upset.
Yeah,
the ladies were like, no, we're looking forward to this
Yeah.
one. We saw the videos and the pictures, and I was like, we'll get you on again. Don't worry.
Well, we decided, like, we're going to do outdoor events, like our own events, probably July and August. Then September gets cold again. I mean, I grew up in Calgary. I should know better not to do stuff in May and June. I don't know if you know, precipitation-wise, we get the most precipitation the month of June in Calgary.
Oh, okay. Did not know that.
So
okay,
now you know
fact.
that.
Now I know.
And then, so you came here and you started your company here in Calgary.
Yeah.
And then how did it slowly evolve to where it is now?
So I've had a few kind of, I would say, like long-term clients. My largest client, they're called Glacier Farm Media. I've been with them for 6 years, or they've been with us for 6 years. Kind of word of mouth. So I had no website. I had my Instagram. I would say I'm pretty fluent on Instagram. That's my main platform. So I've had a medium-sized Instagram for a while, so people would find me on there. So social media was kind of the big one, and then word of mouth. Recommendations, like the Calgary Flames, when they hired us, that was like a word of mouth recommendation hire. And then I put up a website, and wow, did the leads start coming in, and people meeting me. And of course, like my partner, like life partner, I guess. He's I would say nightlife industry events, old kind of school music festival guy. So he has a lot of connections in there. People know him. They look him up, find me, and then
So then obviously we're going into May and we're like going into June next week. Is there a certain period of the season that's really busy for you?
Yes, May till September 1st, I would say, is our busy season, and then Christmas and Halloween. We already have like Christmas party requests coming in.
So we all know about the Calgary Stampede, the greatest outdoor show in the world.
Yes.
So is that a busy time for you for the 10 days?
Yeah, busy time. Last year we actually we kind of turned down essentially any other work. We have a sponsorship with Live Nation that we do. So we had 8 promotional models out for like 8 to 12 hours every single day of Stampede at the Badlands Music Festival tent. So we had them dressed in like promotional outfits, and they would like sell liquor and shots for us. So we're really busy with that. And then we had the government of Canada actually hire us for a anti-smoking campaign. So we did that as well, which was really good. It was like quite a large setup. We set up right outside of actually like a BMO center. So we did that, and just educating the population on stuff.
So other than July, is June a busy month for your company?
Yes.
And why is that? What's going on in June?
I would say June people are coming off of Stampede, and then
going into Stampede.
Sorry. Going into Stampede. So the pre-parties, a lot of corporate events. For us, actually, law firms, they have a few like social nights, stuff like that, where they want to do it in their office. They don't want to rent a catering company. They don't want to leave their office. They want to have everything come to them. So we do a lot of that.
And how's August?
August, not bad. That's when I try at the end of August to take a holiday. I try to take a holiday at the end of August, but we're still usually pretty busy.
So you're the owner of Premier Staffing,
yes,
and your partner's part of it too?
Not for Premier Staffing, only for the liquor label.
So it's your own company, and then how? Like this is one thing I've always like, we have a law firm, and
Yeah.
obviously we like to promote stuff. We like Calgary Harley did a good event Saturday. We're there. We give have a couple giveaways, and people can know me personally, other than outside the office. And we've been looking for like a staffing agency that provides brand ambassadors. What has been the problem in Calgary on that? Why hasn't it really clicked, especially with the corporate money in the city? What have you seen?
A few things. There's
Yeah.
a lot of smaller, I would say, pop-up agencies that are trying to do it or haven't, just don't have the background knowledge, right? I would say it's mostly young women that are running these companies.
Yeah.
I'm very pro in education and always like trying to learn more. I'm taking my MBA currently for that reason. I want to better run my business. I feel like that's been an issue, just like not learning or fully, I'd say, yeah, not quite like learning the industry or
Yeah.
like learning how to operate your business. When you own something, as you know, you're the bookkeeper, you're the accountant, you're everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when it's a small business, it's hard. I have a team behind me now, I have a management team that I put in place as of last year. And just because we're expanding, I can't do everything on my own. And I feel like maybe that grip people have too tight, that when they're ready to start adding in those extra positions, they don't, and then
Yeah.
they see failures.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, the contract work, the temporary staff,
Yeah.
you sometimes have issues. You could do sometimes it happens. You can do the training session. You can get them to sign agreements. Notifications, emails, confirmations the night before, the day of, oh, I can't come, or something
Yeah, yeah.
came up.
Well,
And
stuff happens.
stuff
It's part of life.
happens. Yeah. So that you see a high volume of that in the event staffing agency. That's why no
Okay.
one wants to do staffing.
Okay. So what's the like, I know there's been a couple, like there's a company last year we used, and we tried to contact them, they never responded. I think they just went out of business. What's the secret, number one, in having like a company like yours, keeping it going, and the secret of getting the brand ambassadors for you to recruit them to come and work for you? What's the secret sauce, sort of?
Yeah, I think organization,
Yeah.
for one, and having like a good business plan and a plan. Every day, or not every day, I'd say every quarter, I go through and I look at my business plan on what like how many events I want to service for that quarter, so I'm not overbooking myself or like killing my staff, so they're overworked. That one, taking too many clients at once, I think is a huge issue.
Yeah.
Um,
How
making-
about recruiting the ladies?
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes, I grew up with three sisters, and sometimes like a lady, well, I got my boyfriend, and he's going to take me to Banff for the weekend.
Yes,
Forget
yeah.
about it, I'm not going to go work. You understand?
Oh,
Have you found that
exactly.
a problem at all?
Not yes and no. Like,
Yeah.
I usually try to hire ladies who are reliable
Yeah.
and who actually want to be there and want to work. So, and again, we have like I said, a procedure in place. We have agreements that they sign. They do training beforehand, so they do have to put in probably half an hour, 45 minutes,
Yeah.
even before they even get to work the shift.
Yeah.
So if you're going to put in a 45-minute time commitment, you're going to want to work the shift, I would assume.
Okay.
And then too, like I'm a pretty public person. I'm easy to find on social media. I did that on purpose, right? Because it could be a little bit nerve-wracking going and working for a company or an event that you don't know who owns it, who operates it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can look me up on LinkedIn, social
Yeah.
media. You can
Yeah.
see, and yeah.
So say you got this company, and they need a couple brand ambassadors, and it's booked for this Saturday. Are some of the ladies worried about like what kind of company is this? Are they going to treat me with respect, stuff like that? How do you like keep them calm on that? Because it's sort of like it's sort of like going on a date with that dude you don't
Yes.
know. It's sort of like a blind date. Like, this guy's a good guy, and he
Yes,
turns
but
out to
you're
be a
like-
psychotic.
Oh, exactly.
No,
I'm
we've all been on
serious.
those
Oh,
dates.
absolutely. Yeah, you're like, oh
So,
dear. Yeah.
and we just used their services on Saturday, and I could tell the ladies were a little nervous,
Yes,
the body
yeah.
language, and then we start talking to them, and they realize we're real
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
we just want to keep them relaxed. Is that a concern for the ladies that you recruit, of just making sure that this is a company, and they're going to be treated with respect and everything?
Yeah, I feel like too, we're really good at informing. So before the ladies even arrive on site, they have like a full-on brief agreement that they read who they're working for, what they're gonna wear,
Yeah.
even photos. So
Yeah.
when Natasha and Jasmine worked for you guys for the first one,
Yeah.
I had that photo in the brief. It's like, this is the shirt you're gonna wear. These
Yeah.
are the jeans we're gonna bring
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
So they know exactly where they're going, who they're with. I think they were nervous because I was on site and I'm usually not on site. So they're like,
Yeah.
oh, she's
Okay.
here, and that could have maybe played into it. They're like, oh, why is
Yeah.
Brooke here right now?
Okay,
I
yeah,
didn't tell
but-
them. I just was like, I'm here, and they're
Yeah.
like, oh.
Well, the ladies we had was Mandy and Cam, and they're great.
Yeah.
I mean, they stayed for the full were from 10 to 4.
Yes, yeah.
But obviously you know who they were, and
Yeah.
you know it's always a nervous thing of going to someone and not knowing who you're working for. Is that correct?
Absolutely, because I remember when I was younger and working,
Yeah.
and I'd get called from a company like in Toronto to come do an event. I'm like, okay, I got to look you guys up,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure everything's
Okay.
legitimate.
Yeah.
And two, like you can go on our Google reviews. We have Google reviews. We have an Indeed page of people saying that we've worked for us. I also have like a staffing roster group. So if they wanted to message any of the girls or ladies, I guess I should say, who worked for us in the past, they could just click on their Facebook profile or find them on Instagram and message and be like, hey, how was
Okay.
the shift? Or
But you're sort of like the middle person,
Yeah.
because you know there's a lady over here, or you know they're looking for a job, and then
Yes.
you're the recruiter, and then
Yeah.
Grover Law Firm's over here. Do the ladies do their background check on the company they're sent to at all, or is it just your reassurance that you know who you're dealing with? Does that make
it's
sense?
usually that, yeah. It's definitely more of like my their reassurance through me
Okay,
that the
all right.
company is
Okay,
legitimate,
cool.
and two, like if we get like a recommendation or a new client, we will look.
So you did a background check on
Oh,
me?
absolutely, yeah.
and
We
I was
looked
okay?
you up. You were
All
great.
right.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
did
know.
look you up. Yeah.
Well, you better tell my three sisters that.
Yes, we had I hired an executive assistant. Her name's Madison.
Yeah.
She actually looked. I got her to take a look at your stuff, and she's like, "Yeah,
Okay.
everything looks great."
All
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell my three sisters that I'm a good guy, because they
Yes.
don't believe that. Okay. And then obviously you're based here in Calgary,
Mm-hmm.
and we used you in Kelowna because there was that Kelowna
Yes.
block party, and unfortunately one of the ladies had an accident that morning, which is
a
fine.
vehicle accident. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it.
That's
Oh.
fine. We got through the day, and I forget her name. She was really good, and she was very
Aspen? Aspen?
Yeah, Aspen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very thorough. She's very kind. She's good with the clientele.
Yeah.
So that was good. But like when you're in Calgary, do you find it hard to find brand ambassadors in different cities to service your clientele?
I'd say not anymore.
Yeah.
Back in 2022, when we were going Canada wide, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but I built the roster up over over the years,
Mm-hmm.
and to a lot of the ladies too, if they can't work the shifts themselves,
Mm-hmm.
like let's say I just did a car show in Halifax, we had 5 ladies out. One of the ladies who's worked for us the last 2 years out there, she's like, "Hey, I'm not available this one weekend. I have X event or something
it
else to do."
happens. Yep.
She's like, "But my friend who is great, here's her resume. She would like to work." Perfect.
Okay.
And to like testing out the ladies for what event suits them. Some ladies realize like, oh, having to actually talk to the people, they don't like that. They would prefer like a liquor sample shift where they're behind the bar or something like that. So finding what shifts they actually want to work or what what more suited to their personality maybe.
Okay.
So we'll try them out on one and
Yeah.
be like, okay, you weren't as outgoing,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe you're more suited for like a lead gen shift.
Yeah, okay.
Then we'll adapt for
All
the
right.
future.
Okay. So you're based in Calgary.
Yes.
That's your headquarters. And then you obviously do business in Edmonton, do stuff in Vancouver,
Yes, yeah. We also have Vancouver,
Kelowna. We use you in
Kelowna.
Kelowna, and
Yeah.
then back down east like Toronto, Montreal.
Okay. Yeah, we just did something in Quebec City.
Yeah.
We just did Quebec City. Yeah, Ontario, Ottawa. We have a bunch of stuff in the summer.
Halifax,
Halifax,
obviously.
yeah, Halifax
and then,
as
and
well.
down in the U.S. too.
Yeah, so we had one with Arizona Bike Week,
Yeah.
and then we have a few other stuff coming up, like the Sturgis stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm starting. You know what? I've actually had another company too for that one want to hire me directly, but I turned it down because I was like, no, I'm too busy during that time
Okay.
to come down for
Yeah.
that one. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because we were just in Arizona Bike Week. We were there for a couple days. We did some videos. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And you had some brand ambassadors at vendors there?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually an energy. I can't say their name, but
Okay,
yeah, it
that's
was an
fine.
energy
Yeah.
energy drink client.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then what about Sturgis? Can you get brand ambassadors in Sturgis for the
Yeah,
week?
so you know what? That is a really unique bike show. So a
Yeah.
lot of the BA girls fly in. So they're from Vegas, they're from wherever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Chicago,
I
a
already
lot
yes,
of
I've already
Midwest
reached
ladies.
out to like my ladies who I know love the rally work. So they love the rally kind of brand ambassador work. I reached out to them. They're interested, not booked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something. Well, I got to shoot you an email
Yeah.
here to get that more locked
Okay.
in because they booked the ladies really
Yeah,
early.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
we had to book our hotel back in January, and then it had to be paid off by May.
Yeah,
But that's just it's the biggest motorcycle rally in the world. A million
yeah.
people show up. Okay,
Yeah.
so obviously you're an entrepreneur,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
So to people out there, I mean, everyone the problem is nowadays with social media, like they see like some guy in Dubai and he's a billionaire. Oh, it's so easy to be a billionaire now. So what is like I'm an entrepreneur too. Like I'm a lawyer and I run my own law firm. I couldn't do it without my staff. But it's a constantly, would you agree that being an entrepreneur is like a life choice?
Yes, yeah. Your whole life revolves around work. My life revolves around
but
work.
at the end of the day, it's a choice.
Yeah,
and,
it's a
you know,
choice.
And do you make your work fun for you too?
Oh, exactly.
So
I know. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Some of my friends are like, "Oh, like why do you work so much, or
Yeah.
you don't have to work so much?" And it's like, no, I choose to work this much. I
Yeah.
choose to do
Yeah.
this, and I picked a partner who like supports me with that
Yeah.
lifestyle. He doesn't want me to sit at home and not have a job or like children or anything like that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, he totally supports that. But yeah, it's definitely a choice, and I love it though. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love
But
it.
is it really a choice, or is it's just your lifestyle? Like, you know, like I interact work with stuff I do. Like, you know, I'll go watch a movie and then I'll maybe come back to the office and work an hour. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal for me, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's a labor of love for me. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, like, and it doesn't fit everyone's personality. Like, people want to work
Yeah.
8 hours a day.
Yeah, and cut it off.
Go home and have Saturday and Sunday long weekends off. That's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? But what is the secret? If you're a young person out there, like a woman or a guy, and they're, you know, and young Canadian, and they want to be an entrepreneur because it sounds sexy and you can make a
Yes.
lot of money, but which is not true. What is your one piece of advice to young people out there if they want to go out and do their own thing?
I would say do it. You got to try. You might try 3-4 times and it might fail, but you'll find what you're meant to do.
Okay.
I was fortunate that when I thought about doing my company since I was 15, 16 years old, and I found a niche market and I executed and I had success. That doesn't happen all the time. Even if you do fail or it doesn't work out the first time, try again, try do something else.
Yeah.
I have friends who have tried 3 different industries and they finally found it something they love, it's working for them, and they're doing it. I would say you have to try. I would say it takes a lot of motivation. It takes a certain personality type, yes.
Yeah.
And if that's not for you, that's also okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, get ready to work evenings. I work 7 days a week. I work from 7 in the morning to sometimes 9:30, 10 p.m. at night. Go to bed, do it again.
Yeah.
But no, I do love it. And
So obviously you got to be not scared of failure.
No.
Because most people are scared of failure. They think like failure is a bad thing. Like, oh my
No.
God, I failed my math test, so my whole life is screwed up. It's just one little blip in your life. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
For me, like when someone, for example, like one of the ladies cancels on a shift or doesn't show up or something happens, it's like, oh, it's such like a hit to the heart, and you're like, oh my goodness, I spent 30 minutes like doing a training session with you. I've added you to payroll. I've done all these things, and then I'm like, it happens and it's like upsetting because it's like company image, but I can't let that affect me. I gotta move on. We gotta just fix it for next time, and then try to like evaluate our processes on how we can like eliminate some of these issues.
Okay. And what is the like? You know, obviously you can't be scared of failure. You got to try. You know, and a lot of people don't. They're scared of failure. You know, like, you know, you got out of university. Okay, here's a $60,000 job, and you're gonna make $100,000 and retire at 120. I guarantee 80-90% of Canadians would take that offer, wouldn't
Yes,
they?
yes.
And then there's the 5 or 10% that would just go their own way. I mean, sort of like Michael Dell. I mean, Dell Computers would never be where it is if he didn't take a risk.
Take a risk, yeah.
Or Phil Knight at Nike. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to be a risk taker.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with going with the safe ship, but don't come back to me and complain about your life. You understand?
No, I agree.
But there is a benefit. Like, it'd be nice to go home on Friday and have a couple beers, a glass of wine, have a pizza, and have the whole weekend off, and your whole mind is just empty. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you work for somebody or work your own company. There's always going to be problems. You're going to have a fight with your partner. Your house, the roof may have to be replaced. $25,000 for that. You know, life is part of problems. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
So there's no security in life at all.
No.
Okay.
No.
And what is the one bad thing about being an entrepreneur? Just so people know your perspective, because like not every job is not rosy.
No.
Yeah.
There's going to be stressful times, like financial things, I would say,
Yeah.
especially when you're a startup, you're a small business, or
Yeah.
you like the bank won't just give lending out to anybody. So I remember getting started. I, like I said, was very young.
Yeah.
I was in school still, so like money didn't have any.
Yeah.
So it takes a while to get going. Don't think that if you, I would say like try something, do it small scale. Don't go too fast, too big, too fast. And then now I fast forward when I started the liquor label, and that took a quite significant capital investment to get going. That was in a place, and my partner was in a place to do that, to start that other business. But my first one, no, there was no funding, there was no nothing. It was just
it's paycheck
it was just
to
pain. It was
paycheck.
paycheck to paycheck. It's tough, I guess. But
And what's the one thing you enjoy about being an entrepreneur?
Oh, it's my whole personality.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just
Okay.
I am a very social, outgoing person. I have a lot of drive, and
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself just like sitting in a 9 to 5 and then just like closing my computer and moving on.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually enjoy it. It's fun.
So if someone offered you a stable job, making good money, you probably turn it down
No,
today.
I would turn it
Okay.
down.
All right.
Yeah.
I as an entrepreneur, I like the challenge. I mean, unfortunately, there has been a change in the law just recently. The Bill 47, now you can't sue an auto accident if you're injured as of January 1st, 2027. But you just pivot. You know, we can, like, lawyers are lawyers. I mean, at the end of the day, we can improvise. And, you know, I'll still support the motorcycle community. We can do other areas of law, like other areas of personal injury, like slip and fall, trip and fall, medical malpractice, you know, family law, you know, real estate stuff like that. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad always had he was a doctor, but he was also an entrepreneur by his own, like, nature too. And he had a theory, and I don't know if you agree with this, one door closes, three doors open.
Yeah, pivot. Yeah. Flexibility. You need to be a a flexible person, I guess, to have flexibility.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the history of some companies, like God forbid, the Bay is shutting down now. Like they're like an institution in Canada.
Yeah.
But obviously they're closing down. I mean, nothing is secure in life, and if you don't change with the times, you're not going to survive. Would you agree with that?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So what's the long-term perspective for your company? Where do you see you taking your premier staffing?
Yeah, I would love to move into the U.S. market.
Yeah.
I really love the U.S. marketing and branding. I
Yeah.
tried to bring some of those ideas and concepts,
Yeah.
into Canada. We're not quite ready for all of it yet. We're not ready. We're not there, but I would like to, move into the States. And I have selected and built a small, like, management team behind me that, employing other young women to kind of follow and move into more, hopefully, senior management roles for me as we get larger and expand.
So what is the biggest hurdle you're facing? Like is every business has a hurdle no matter what. What's the biggest hurdle you would face in growing your company or just continuing on its path?
I would say not having enough people, like permanent staff, but I've now eradicated that issue for myself. It was letting go of the grip, having all of the control, being able to let go and let somebody else take care of certain aspects.
Yeah.
And it's been great. It's
So they have something delegate or die. Have you heard that theory?
Yes.
Do you believe in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They say that a single person can't manage more than, I think it's 6 or 8 people at a time, like full time. There's some sort of rule on that. I can't remember what exactly is, but I believe in it.
Okay. And obviously, you know, I'm pretty familiar with the U.S. I'm going to Atlanta later this week for a big conference in Atlanta. What is a good market for your company to get? Like, what city or state is good for you to expand in the U.S.?
Yeah, really familiar with, like, I would say, like, Arizona, the Phoenix, Scottsdale area.
Yeah.
I love the area, and I like the way that they market in those areas.
And what's so special about their marketing?
It's more of the old school traditional, like, brand ambassador marketing. It's more, I would say, almost more risque, scandalous. They push the limits every time. Here we can't quite do it.
So what do they do? Give me an example what they push the limits in Arizona
I would
that
say,
would not be acceptable in Canada.
No, even some of the outfits, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, the short, like, the old, like, Coors girls or Budweiser, they used to have, like, the Bud girls, and we would wear, like, bikini tops and short skirts or, like, dresses or something like that.
Yeah.
And just here, they've really moved away from that. In Canada, they just don't even do those activations anymore.
Was it because of the weather?
Maybe the weather.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. They don't market the same. And two, it's like for like my liquor label, for example, that marketing is. We studied the U.S. marketing, their kind of tactics, and I'm not marketing to you a jar with Jello shots. I'm marketing you a lifestyle look. I'm marketing you the ladies. Like, the ladies are the product. It's not the Jello. I'm not selling you a jar of Jello shots. Yeah.
Okay. And what market in the U.S. would you not go into? Is there a certain state you wouldn't touch at all? Have you thought of that at all, or no?
Not
No?
really.
Maybe West Virginia? I don't know.
Southern, remember the Southern conservative states, maybe?
Yeah.
Southern, maybe
Yeah,
those
but
ones?
I don't know. Like, you know, I went to school in Texas, And there is Mississippi and there's Georgia, the big football teams, and they have their cheerleaders. They like their fun too down there. Mm-hmm. So but you haven't really thought of that, no. What about California?
I'm not too, I would say maybe not super educated on their market. Nevada, I would say I know more about the Nevada kind of Scottsdale area. Those would be kind of the areas I would target just because that's where I used to go to do the brand ambassador work.
Okay. So say you go into Las Vegas, just as an example, because I've lived in Vegas. I lived for 3 years in Vegas before I went to law school. If you're going into the Vegas market and Clark County is the county, what business would you target there to start your business off in?
Trade shows.
Yeah, trade shows? Okay, and obviously they have the huge, they have the huge convention center. Yeah. And so you go into, and they have trade shows every weekend.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's a trade show. So what would you be doing? Like asking exhibitors if they need brand ambassadors?
So I would do exact role of what I did here in kind of Calgary to make myself the largest and the biggest. I went to every single venue. I said, hey, I want to be your preferred staffing partner. Yeah. And most of them will say no. They want money. They want $10,000 or a $50,000 sponsorship to put your name on some of the stuff. Yeah. So then what we did to pivot when I was like, I don't have the capital to do the sponsorship or whatnot, we pivoted, and all I did was go through everyone's event calendars, found every single trade show event that was happening in those large venues, and went and targeted and emailed every single client saying, hey, this is the service I offer. These are my previous work. Here's my website. Here's me on LinkedIn. Look me up. Give me a call. So I did that for months, I would say, lead gen on clients. I would do the exact same thing, go to all the largest venues out there and like trade shows. If you go to one trade show, like they do really lots of brand ambassadors for some reason at vape trade shows. Even though maybe I don't agree with smoking and vaping, I don't like that. Still you get one client there, next client you could do 10 15 different booths of 10 girls over 3 days. That's your quarter right there.
So what is a big trade show do you like to hit? Is there a certain one you like to hit in Vegas?
The Vape Expo, even though that's not personally anything I'm into on my personal life, but for business, excellent. They do a lot of brand ambassadors, which you wouldn't really, I didn't think that would be
it makes sense to have people come to the booth and all that stuff. Okay. Yeah, I know there's a big motorcycle show in February around the Super Bowl, so we're going to probably have a booth down there next year. So
what about SEMA? Do you guys?
SEMA? No. Okay. No, but yeah, we'll probably use your company for February next year, so we'll talk about that.
Yes.
But you can get people.
I'll show you actually some of the ladies. Yeah, I have a lot of friends down there actually.
Cool. All right. And then obviously you've talked a little bit about your partner in this liquor license. Tell me a little bit about your business there.
Yeah. So we back in 2022 we applied for AGLC liquor license through the provincial government. We got accepted a year later, then applied for a federal corporation liquor license as well. So we're federally licensed, provincially, and we own a liquor agency called Verified Party Inc. People, that name is just kind of our agency's license name. That's not kind of any part or branding. We don't really use that for anything. It's just kind of like the shell company for the liquor label. Our liquor label is called Poof Shots. It's a pre-made vodka jello shot.
All right.
Again, niche product. I'm big on niche market. I found something, again, I thought of an idea. I was like, hey, jello shots, let's try this. So niche product, no one's really doing it. There is a few other competitors.
Okay, so we've all been to bars, and down the south they also sell jello shots. What was the attraction of trying to capitalize on jello shots and commercialize it? What was the attraction for you?
Canada, we don't have a diverse product range on really anything. Even something like cereals. You go to the U.S., walls of cereal. Here we have a very few options. So again, previous contract and ideas or background would have been music festivals. That's what my partner previously owned. So he had the contacts in that kind of nightlife sphere. We're also avid music festival attendees. So that's something that we personally and do in our free time. We attend a lot of these concerts and venues and see the people. We didn't want to go back into the music festivals, trying to operate and run. There's really successful companies here doing it. They do it really well. We'd like to support that because the Canadian music and scene, it's great, but again, not like the U.S. So if someone who's doing it right, we'd rather support than compete. So we thought, okay, liquor label, that's something we can come in, sponsor their events at, and then get our product in there. And two, just like the brand ambassadors, I thought of what's a business I can wrap in brand ambassadors and use like the promotional models and something that we already have going. So we use Premier Staffing to hire the ladies, and then I can also apply, I guess, employment for young women. That's kind of another kind of big reason I do the Premier Staffing is supplying young women with like safe working opportunities.
Yeah.
You're still in school
Yeah.
and we always pay above minimum wage, so it's like safe work. You get paid pretty well to do it, and it's usually a lot of fun.
Okay, so the poof Jello shot, where do those actually get produced? In
Yeah,
Calgary?
so there's actually a really weird law. They don't allow you to manufacture Jello shots in the province of Alberta.
Okay.
So we looked into setting up a manufacturing facility here. It's a no-go. We would have to do it in BC. So BC's really, it's very odd. You can't manufacture in Alberta, but you can sell. You can manufacture in BC, but you cannot sell Jello shots in BC.
Okay.
So we were kind of like, okay, that's a little weird. So we
Yeah.
looked international. We went to China. So it's the guys who manufacture for Walmart. Actually, they do like gummies and like gummy products
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Walmart.
Gummy bears.
Yeah, for like kids.
Yeah, yeah.
And we said, hey, we want to do an adult product with liquor in it. Is this something you guys can do? And they said, okay, give us kind of what you want to do and your thoughts on it. So we did a ton of product testing. I would say months of sampling, months of fixing the ingredients and the recipe and back and forth with them, and then finally kind of hit the I would say the golden shot consistency.
Okay. Okay, so it's all manufactured in China?
Yes.
So what is in what alcohol do you have in the shot?
Yeah, it's vodka. It's an
Vodka?
ethanol-based vodka.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are there different flavors?
Yeah, so we have 5 flavors right now. So these ones are the vodka-based ones. We have a blue raspberry, sour apple, cherry, banana, and then watermelon. And we are coming out with a tequila Jello shot. So it's an agave margarita mix pack. So they're actually going to be in a 4-pack. There is margarita raspberry and margarita lime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if I was out there in Calgary and I want to get a poof Jello shot,
Yeah.
is there anywhere I could buy them?
Yeah, so 200 liquor stores in Alberta sell them, and then
Okay.
some venues to have them. Like in Edmonton, we have like the Pint and Beercade. They sell them at their bars. Trying to think, Commonwealth here sells them as
What
well.
about liquor stores?
Yeah, liquor stores.
Which
yeah,
liquor store they sell them at?
I can't even. I can't remember all the names of the liquor stores,
Okay.
but like Wine and Beyond sells them. I know that.
So there's one in West Hills, the big one. So if I go there on the way home tonight, where
yeah.
do I go with the?
I can't. I gotta pull up the website for you. I have everything on my website.
Let me know when
yeah.
we're done, okay?
Yes.
Okay, because I want to try them.
I know. I have to bring you some.
yeah. I guess Nathan and I, we can try some tonight, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. What is the most popular flavor you have for the poof?
The blue raspberry one.
Blue raspberry?
Yeah, blue
And why do
raspberry.
people like that one?
I think the flavor blue raspberry cherry seemed to be. I would say those were really the 2 most popular.
Okay. Were you just at the beer fest?
Yes, we were.
Oh, so you had a booth there?
Yeah, we had a quad booth there. It's our
What's a
second
quad
year.
booth?
It's like 4 booths.
Oh, okay.
We blew up this big inflatable gummy bear. We had 8 girls each shift work and sell the shots. And
Okay. So how was it at Beer Fest? Good?
Really good. Yeah,
Yeah.
we do well at that show. Yeah, it was awesome. A lot of fun.
So what are the big trades that you would market poof at in Calgary? The Beer Fest, is there another one that you go
Beer
to?
Fest. Not really events wise until Stampede. I would say we have 2 events this year. We're doing the Badlands tent, so it's Blueprint Live Nations tent.
Yeah, Stampede.
Stampede,
Okay,
and
where's
then-
that located?
It's right downtown, and it's oh my goodness, it's actually right by my house, which is funny. I can see it from my
Okay,
condo.
yeah.
But yeah, right downtown.
Okay. And then what's another time in Stampede that's busy
Yes.
for you?
So it's called Bull Busting. It's Cody Seingard's
the
rodeo.
Eagle.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
Grey Eagle.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we've actually done a few
Yeah.
things with the Grey Eagle recently, a few
Yeah.
of their concerts,
Yeah.
and we should have
Yeah.
our country poof models
Yeah.
out that way.
Well, I know we used a couple times, but I finally met you because you came to Calgary Harley to meet me.
Yes.
And then you're waiting for your staff to show up, and we
Yeah.
talked about the rodeo up the Grey Eagle. So I got invited by my IT company and one of my bankers to go, and I thought this is going to be stupid.
No,
I
apparently
know,
it's
but
crazy.
no, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I had a good time.
Okay, good.
They have fireworks, they got clowns, and then it was a great old time, and I got invited again, so I'm going to go July 4th. But it was a great time.
Yeah.
They make. Like the Calgary Stampede, I grew up in Calgary, and I've gone to the Stampede every year. It's just a tradition in our family. And I always go down for the corn dog, and then I go for the curly fries, and then I go for that draft root beer. Have you ever seen that draft root beer?
Oh yeah, it's so good. Yes.
Yeah. And then I have mini donuts, and then that's about it. So
Yeah.
I'm done for the year. But I like the Calgary Stampede is like, they got the chuck wagons, they got the saddle bronc. But I think Cody Snyder's taken it to a different level, and more sort of like moving Vegas into it. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. And
What
it
do you-
sells out every year too.
Yeah. What do you think of it?
No, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more smaller, intimate. You can see a lot better the rodeo,
Yeah.
the riders, and I'm not sure what the technical term for the guys who.
Well, they're all bull riders.
Bull riders, bull riders,
yeah.
They're very skilled. They're very skilled at what they do.
But it's more of a show. It's more of an entertainment.
Yes.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yeah.
Is that a good event for you to be at?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And you sell out pretty good?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're there, I think it's 5 days or so?
Yeah, the 1st to the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, some way. It's just before the Stampede.
Yes.
So you'll be there again.
Yep.
So where will you be set up?
I think we'll be mobile. So kind of a unique thing with our product is the ladies will sell it mobily, meaning out of cooler backpacks or out of coolers, so they can walk around and move.
Okay.
And
So if I'm the stand, I'll expect to see a poof.
You're gonna see a few of them,
Okay, I can buy a shot there. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot last year. It was quite surprising. Like he took it to a different level. And then after they had the food in the casino area, and then eventually I went home.
Yeah.
But it was a long day, but I enjoyed it a lot. It was real fun. Yeah. Okay. So that's obviously a great event for you.
Yeah.
And where do you think where would you and your partner like to take the Puff Jello shots to?
Yeah. We would love to see Canada wide.
Yeah.
Stocking liquor. You have to deal with each provincial's liquor board
Jurisdiction.
So BC, we tried with them. We waited 2 years to be kind of told no. They're just not quite ready for gelatin and a liquor product mix.
Yeah.
Which we understand. They don't really have they're not modern enough to classify it yet.
Okay.
LCBO is kind of our next hit.
Where's that?
Ontario Liquor
yeah,
Board.
yeah.
They're the largest liquor purchaser in the world, which is a fun fact.
Well, it's a huge market, 20
Yes.
million people.
Yes.
So what's the secret to get on Ontario?
Wait.
Yeah?
Wait. I think too, we've taken a lot of steps. Like we've made sure that we have media coverage. We're at large events. We've partnered with Live Nation. They are huge. They own a lot of venues out there. So once we kind of get into that market, we already have venues that want our product, want to work with us, and who we've developed a good relationship with.
Okay. And what about the Maritime? Is there any good there, or Quebec?
Yeah, Quebec. I'm not quite fully educated on the Quebec yet. They're very unique compared to the rest of Canada. But
Okay.
the East Coast, yes, we've already spoken with agents and stuff out
Okay.
there to get representation. Ontario's our main focus.
Yeah,
if
well,
we
it's
can get
20
it into
million
there.
people,
Yes, yeah.
What about Saskatchewan?
No, we're there. Yeah,
Oh,
we're there.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we're
So-
distributing.
So just out of curiosity, say there's an event in Toronto, can you just go and sell it, or do you need a license?
No, you need a license,
so
and
it's
like
very
we can't
regulated.
even. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
okay.
extremely regulated.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's a controlled substance, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it should be
Yeah, yeah.
regulated.
Okay, okay. And then the staffing, you can go across Canada. There's no
Yeah.
regulations. If I have an event in Halifax, we can hire you. You could have
Yep.
3 or 4 brand ambassadors or a booth. Okay, that's interesting. What about getting the U.S.? Would that be tougher market to get into?
No, we're ready to go.
Oh, so have you marketed down there at all?
No, so we don't market down there. We wait
Yeah.
for like the leads to come to us, just because we
Okay.
don't have I don't have the people
Okay.
set up to fully
Yeah.
manage like like I said, too many
Yeah.
leads coming in.
Okay.
Not
All right.
good for
Okay.
business.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So so let me know after the show, and let me know where to
Yeah.
go get Puff. We'll get some shots on the way home.
yes, that'll be exciting.
Just out of curiosity, like Grover Law Firm, and I've gone to, like, growing up in Calgary, like I've gone to like the Comic-Con, and my dad and I used to go to the auto and truck show growing up, and now we're stable at the motorcycle show across Canada. But sometimes there's a lot of vendors that won't hire a staffing agency like yours. Are they just being cheap, you think? Or what's the biggest concern you have of vendors? Like if you approach someone and says, we can't afford it or something like that. I see it as an investment, because, we get women that, brand ambassadors that come in, they know our product, and, it looks more professional. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Absolutely. I feel like once they try it, they're like, wow, why were we not doing this
Yeah,
before? And the
yeah.
booths that have it,
Yeah.
like you're one of the few who has really modern, up-to-date marketing, which I appreciate. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, okay, I don't
Yeah.
need to explain it to you. I don't need to
Yeah.
explain the value.
Yeah.
You know it and you get it.
Yeah.
Others, they'll be like, okay, we'll try it.
Yeah.
They see it and they're like, wow, okay, I'm looking around said
Yeah.
event, and I'm
Yeah.
the only booth that has the promo models.
Yeah.
And my booth is packed full, and I looked around and no one else had people there. And they're like, okay, we see the value. We
Yeah.
get it now. But it usually takes, it depends on the industry too.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send ladies to a construction show, right? That's
Yeah.
not like the
No?
best event to have it, or like selling like bathtubs or toilets,
Okay.
right? Like
The
that.
Home and Depot show?
Yeah,
No.
Home and Depot show, not a huge target for us.
So what's the ideal show for your staffing company to go to?
Yeah, we love automotive. I
Automotive?
love
Okay.
automotive.
Yeah.
Any expo, like even like a pet expo, something like that.
Yeah.
Vapes, I do like the cannabis
Yeah.
and vape industry.
Yeah.
Anything liquor, big
Liquor.
time into
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay. And so what about the motorcycle show? Have you, like you crack
Yeah.
like we'll use you next year at the motorcycle show in Calgary.
Yeah.
Have you tried to crack into the motorcycle show?
Yeah. You know what? We have one client there. He's a tint client.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, tint and wrap. Tint and
Yeah,
wraps.
yeah.
They
So
do.
he's used your brand
Yeah.
ambassadors.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And
cool.
they did more of like a lead gen. They're selling like raffle tickets for that client.
Oh,
And yeah,
okay.
he said like awesome. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously people should invest the money.
Yeah.
You know, have more professional look.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned our booths. What do you like about the booths we have?
Oh, you do a really good setup.
Yeah? In what way?
So you have multiple like eye interest points, I would say. So you have like a draw. So there's multiple ways to interact, so people don't walk away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're hitting them with like a draw or entry form. You're hitting them with like a sticker, a book,
Mm-hmm.
or a pamphlet, which was kind of farther back the way you had stationed. So get
Mm-hmm.
them in with a draw, and then bring them farther in to like grab a sticker or
Mm-hmm.
talk to the ladies.
How did you like our new tents?
Yes, I was just gonna say your tent really good.
Yeah.
Anything high and visible
Yeah.
in the skyline.
Yeah.
Flags, tents, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I recommend
So I was at
it.
Arizona Bike Week. Remember, Nathan and I were
Yeah.
down our videographer, and we saw this tent, remember? In Chandler, and I said, I want that tent.
You want that
and it was
tent.
the energy drink company,
Yeah.
and they had two big trucks, and
Yeah.
a week later we had that Grover Law Firm Puff Up tent.
No, it looks good. It's really good,
Yeah.
and your colors are like
Yeah.
bold and outstanding.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. My marketing department likes it because all they have to do is it's pump it up. They don't have to like take it apart and all that stuff.
Oh,
so,
exactly.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you've come a far away since you come to Calgary, and at the end of the day, obviously you work a lot, but what do you and your partner do for fun?
Yes, I would say like music festivals, like live music events. We really like live comedy shows, so we try to hit that.
Yeah.
A lot of the times we find out that we're going now to the events that we would normally attend, but we're going there for work a lot because we put ourselves in the industry, the nightlife industry,
Yeah.
with the liquor, and then
Okay.
of course
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a music festival you recommend in Canada to go to?
Absolutely,
Which
yes. So if you're not going to Badlands Tent, go to Chasing Summer Music Festival. It's one of the largest EDM, I guess, electronic dance music
Yeah.
festivals in like Western Canada.
one? Where is that?
Right here in Calgary.
Calgary?
Yeah, in August, I believe, first week of
Okay.
August.
Where is that held at?
Max Bell Center.
Oh, yeah. Okay, the
So it's
hockey arena.
outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then there's all Vancouver too. There's a lot of good ones too. They just had one. I believe it was called Foundation Series. They had like John Summit there. It was outdoors and really good setup, really good operations. They run
How
it
about
properly.
Saskatchewan? They got any good country festivals or no?
You know what? There's Craven. I've actually been out there. I did some brand ambassador work many years ago.
Okay.
I'm not the hugest country music fan,
Yeah.
but yeah, that
Well, I
that one's good.
I like
Boots and
Alan
Hearts.
Jackson.
Yeah, okay,
Alan
okay.
Jackson's good. Garth Brooks is always
Yeah.
good. There's not bad. Dolly Parton's okay from the 80s. She's still alive though.
I know she's still going.
Yeah. Oh. And then any sports you like to do at all?
Yeah, you know what? Like I prefer to watch like some of the more local stuff. So like the CBL, the basketball league.
That's
awesome
the Calgary.
entertainment. We have
what's the
Calgary
team?
Surge here.
Yeah, and they play out of the Winsport.
Correct,
Yeah,
yes,
okay. Because I
yeah.
saw them at Chinook Center last year. They're trying to sell their tickets. I was thinking of sponsoring them, and we got too much on our plate right now.
Fair, busy.
Yeah. And any other sports you enjoy at all? Like to participate in yourself, like skiing, snowboarding?
No, none of that.
No.
It's the time
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the skiing and snow, not
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
I just envision myself getting injured and then being out for weeks at a
Okay.
time.
No
So none of that.
motorcycling?
You know what? I would consider that.
Yeah.
My friends back home,
Yeah.
they take their bikes out every year and they've taken me out a few times,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you know what? I could really see myself getting into it.
Okay.
That's actually something on my list. I really want to go take my bike license
Okay.
course, and
Motorcycle license.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could always go to Too Cool. Check out my friend
Okay.
Trevor Deck. I get a plug in for him. Him and I have been doing business for 20 years. He's got probably one of the best motorcycle schools in Canada.
Okay, I would actually take you up on
Yeah.
it because that
Okay.
is something,
Yeah.
I would be into.
And obviously, I mean, you moved from Saskatchewan to Calgary. Any traveling you like to do?
Yes, yeah. Mostly, I would say mostly to the U.S., to the
Okay.
States.
Where do you like to travel in the U.S.?
The Nevada and the
Las Vegas?
Scottsdale, Las Vegas. Yeah,
Okay.
I try to go every year at least
Okay.
once.
Yeah.
And then I really like the Scottsdale area too.
What do you like? I was just in Scottsdale with
Yeah.
Nathan. What do you like about Scottsdale? What's the attraction there?
I would say like the people
Yeah.
and I the weather the weather for one, the
Yeah.
people, the events. I would
Yeah.
say they have a
Yeah.
lot of good events, waste management.
Yeah.
So I actually was just there for waste management this
Okay.
year, and it's really
Don't you
good.
find it kind of flat and like it's very, it is nice because it's kind of weird to come from Calgary to Phoenix.
Yes.
Because downtown is very small and everything is they've actually built the city very well. If you understand, it's like deserty. It's not skyrise
No.
everywhere. It's kind of because I went there like 8 years ago and I didn't like it because like it's not like Vegas where they
No.
got these big casinos, but when we went back in Arizona Bike Week, I understood what they're doing. They're trying to keep the desert topography to it, so they don't have these big towers and everything, and you can enjoy it. And the roads are clean.
Yes.
So just out of curiosity, you've been to California?
No, I've never
Okay.
been.
All right. Well, I recommend you go to
Okay.
LA and spend some time in LA and
Okay.
check out like Malibu and Huntington Beach and Laguna. Obviously, I mean those are pretty impressive areas. So when you go down there, let me know if you want to still go to Scottsdale or you're going to start going to LA
Start in
instead.
LA,
It's just
okay.
nice with the beach, the Pacific Ocean. Santa Monica's gorgeous. So
No,
I
it's
mean,
definitely
yeah.
on my list. I haven't
Okay.
gotten there yet.
Okay.
But yes, yeah.
Head down to San Diego.
Okay.
Go up to San Francisco. It's it makes a difference with the ocean there. You've been to Vancouver, eh?
Yes, Vancouver and
Yeah.
like Florida, like Miami. I've been, I guess,
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
yeah.
been to Miami, and
Do
yeah.
you like Miami?
You know what? I wouldn't want to live there. It's beautiful, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also dirty at the same time. Like you go 2 streets over, and it's just.
Well, have you been to Miami Beach?
Yes,
Have you been
that's-
off Ocean Drive and all that area?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think we stayed in South Beach when I was.
Yeah,
there,
yeah. Okay. What? And there's a nice area where there are all the beaches there. Did you check out the Clevelander Hotel? That's the
No.
party hotel. It's right on the
Okay.
beach, and they have it's like a disco. I don't think I'd stay there because
Okay.
it's like 2 a.m. The music's going.
Yeah,
They got
that's not for
flashlights
me.
everywhere.
Oh.
But it looks pretty fun. But yeah, Miami Beach. Is there anywhere? Like, do you have a bucket list here? Is there any place you'd like to travel that you haven't done so far?
Yeah, I've been to Europe when I right out of high school, but I probably want to go back again. Go to Europe.
Where would you go in Europe? Because it's a big continent.
Yes, yeah, I would like to bounce around probably, like go to Germany, probably, like, oh gosh, I've been to Prague already. I love
Yeah,
that area. Like the Greece, the Italy,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I would say like the pretty basic travel bucket locations.
No, that's
just-
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you go to Italy, go to like Rome, and then go up to
Yes.
Florence and go to Venice. That's the big hub that everyone goes to. Yeah, Italy's good. Anywhere you would not go in the world.
no, not really. No.
Okay.
Yeah, even like wouldn't be fine to go like a Southeast Asia trip. I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest backpacker. I don't think
Yeah.
I can live off a
Okay.
backpack for
No.
a month.
So
I don't.
you're not into camping.
I would camp absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
I've growing up, my mom would take me and my brother. We'd go camping like in a tent, like
Okay.
literally in a tent. But yeah.
Any dream of you and your partner buying in a fifth wheel, like a big RV?
You know what? That was his dad and mom did that kind
Yeah,
of stuff. And
yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe not yet, but
Yeah.
in a few years,
Yeah.
maybe a few
Okay, so you're
decades.
more like fly or travel, so stay in
Yeah.
a nice hotel,
Yeah.
and obviously you mentioned restaurants are pretty good in Calgary. Is there a favorite restaurant you like to go to?
Yes, I really like Bridget Bar. That's
Oh
probably
yeah,
one.
that's on 17.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
really close to me. And
Have you ever been? What? Go ahead.
Oh,
whatever.
sorry, and Chairman's. That would be
Oh,
my
okay.
Chairman's.
Is that the one down in
Mahogany?
Mahogany?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Have you ever been to Major Tom's?
Yes, I have.
What do you
yeah.
think of that place?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, but again, if I'm going, I'm a really big carnivore. I'm a steak connoisseur, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like Chairman's, the quality.
Okay.
Modern Snake too. Those would probably be my two.
Okay. Yeah, I was
But-
just at Major Tom's on Saturday. It was
it's-
like the view's nice, but the food like
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. If you like steak, I would recommend. Have you been to Banff? Mm-hmm. I think personally the best steakhouse in Canada is Chuck's Steakhouse on
Okay,
Banff
yes,
Avenue.
yes.
It's upstairs. So if you go on Banff Avenue and just before you hit the bridge, they're right above there. You know where the church is on the corner?
Yeah.
Right across from there, there's like a little gift shop, and above it there's this Chuck's Steakhouse.
Okay.
It's the best, I think so. It's owned by the same owner that owns Maple Leaf. Have you ever been there? Yeah, you should try that place out.
Okay,
But
good
Truck Steakhouse, I
recommendation.
highly recommend. If it sucks, let me know. You can text me. You have my cell number. So, okay?
Okay, no, I gotta try it.
yeah,
I'm a steak girl, steak and potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go to Truck Steakhouse. Try it this summer. And let me know what you think of it. Okay.
Sounds good.
Like one place I have to take like my friends to when they visit Calgary is go to Banff and try
Okay.
Truck Steakhouse. So that's my personal opinion.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. Well, I wish you the best with your business, and obviously, anyone looking for a staffing agency, Grover Law Firm highly recommends your company. I would thank you so much. It was just out of luck. We were looking at Ferraris, and all of a sudden, we started talking to the brand ambassadors, and they
Yeah.
mentioned your name, so we called you.
Yeah.
And thank you for taking on as a client. We've been very happy with your services. So anybody out there that needs a brand ambassador, I highly recommend you have it at an exhibition or your booth, or any kind of Christmas party events you have them.
Yeah.
Obviously, the service is excellent. Their prices are reasonable,
Thanks.
and I have no complaints so far.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I wish you the best with both your businesses, and I wish you have a great summer, and hopefully Stampede is amazing.
Oh,
okay?
perfect. Thank
and
you.
obviously for agreeing for being on
Oh.
our podcast, we got a little
Oh,
gift basket
thank
for you.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. Obviously, Brooke is an amazing person to work with. I highly recommend Premier Staffing. So if you're looking for any staffing, requirements, they obviously can Google you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And reach out to her, and I give them a 10 out of 10 recommendation. All right. So until next time, enjoy the good weather, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.